This episode of Tour the World is brought to you by TFE Hotels across Australia, New Zealand and Europe. G'day there and welcome to Tour the World and part 2 of our Aussie touring special, dedicated to bringing you unique day tour and short guided holiday ideas from across this incredible country of ours. Now it seems only fitting that this week we're coming to you from the nation's capital at the newly refurbished Hotel Kurrajong, Canberra. If these walls could talk, they would have some serious stories to tell. This hotel has hosted the who's who of Aussie politics for almost a century. More on that a little later, but right now, let's kick things off in beautiful southeast Queensland. You know, as a kid, I remember lots of bushwalking and camping and basically any opportunity to get out into the great Australian bush. But let's face it, as you get older, things change. You need more than a rolled up pair of jeans for a pillow. Well, do I have a short guided holiday option for you in amazing southeast Queensland? Take a look at this. It's an hour and a half's drive west of Brisbane to Spices Peak Station at the foot of the majestic Great Dividing Range, where we join Spices Retreats on their all-new Scenic Rim Trail.
So the Scenic Rim Trail is a 4-day walk throughout the Great Dividing Range, showcasing some of the best natural area we've got in southeast Queensland. Every night you're staying in one of the Spices properties. The first day you're walking into Spices Canopy and spending the top night in our permanent tented site. And then the second day, again, we do a bit of a circuit in a Spices Canopy. And then the third night is Spices Peak Lodge and a finale with a degustation dinner.
Now, I've been wanting to show you inside these amazing tents, so step inside. Now, here we have the beautiful his and hers bathrobes. You've got this amazing bed with feather-down pillows and the beautiful linen, and every tent has its very own daybed where you can just relax and take it all in. The Scenic Rim Trail includes all meals and beverages, which are served in the main lodge at Spices Canopy with its open fireplace. Meals are shared around the central dining table and the menu is delicious with lots of hearty home-style favourites. It's the small touches that make this experience so special, like afternoon tea of freshly made scones served with chilled champagne. On the trail, and our first trek takes us to the top of Mount Mitchell through lush eucalypt and rainforest. Our guide Reese shares his amazing knowledge of the bush tucker options on offer. While the Scenic Rim Trail overall is suitable for guests of a good level of fitness, day 2 is a more leisurely amble. We head across the paddocks of Spices Peak Station and along a nearby river gorge. This is a chance to unwind and enjoy the magnificent bush setting. It's a really beautiful spot, and there's plenty of time along the way to stop and smell the flowers. And we happen to catch the tail end of this slippery character taking a bath. Day 3, and we head off early for the climb to the top of Spices Peak in the Main Range National Park and on to Spices Peak Lodge for our final night. And Australia's highest non-alpine lodge. And apparently they have a great spa. And I think I'm going to need a little piece of TLC when I eventually get there. Boy. The views from the top of the peak back towards Spices Canopy are sensational and well worth the climb, as is the chance to walk through this extraordinary Gondwana rainforest. It's a warm welcome on arrival at Spices Peak Lodge, a member of the Luxury Lodges of Australia, and a fabulous way to end this experience. The included 5-course tasting menu is superb. And as the sun sets over the spectacular Scenic Rim on this Aussie touring adventure, check the website for more details.
Now another travel tip from Sunwild Holidays, your tour specialists. Travel insurance is as important as your passport. It can cover you for lost luggage or stolen valuables. And most importantly, medical and evacuation costs that you might incur. So don't leave home without it. For more travel tips and exclusive tour offers, visit the Sunworld Holidays website.
If you're like me, a day outdoors in Victoria's stunning wine country is the best kind of day there is, and what better way to do it than in good company on a boutique winery tour. And I think I know just the guy to help. Mike's Wine Tours depart Federation Square in Melbourne, and having been to the Yarra Valley, I've opted for something a little different, a wine tour of the gorgeous Macedon Ranges.
Julia, Mike's Wine Tours offer small and large group tours to some of the best boutique wineries in the Macedon Ranges and the Yarra Valley. And Mike's Wine Tours have been operating since 2009. It's a very unique experience because my guests get to actually meet the winemakers as opposed to being just served wine to cellar door. They can sit around open fires, relax in comfy lounge chairs and have a really good tasting experience and actually learn a lot too. I offer 3 different types of tours. One's the public tour for small groups of 10. I also have private groups that do larger groups up to 30. And for couples, an ideal wedding celebration would be to travel in our premium tour in our BMW, and that's certainly travelling a bit of style and comfort. We're going to visit Coate Williams Winery. They're known as one of the pioneers of winemaking in the Macedon Ranges. They began in 1977. And since then, they've won a multitude of awards for their sparkling wine, also their Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. We're also going to venture on through our lunch stop to Holgate Brewhouse in Wood End. So for those of our guests that don't like to actually enjoy wine, there's quite a great opportunity there to taste about 8 different styles of boutique handcrafted beers. And following our little nature walk at Hanging Rock, everyone works off their lunch and everyone's quite thirsty, ready for the Hanging Rock cellar door, where there's 25 wines available with great views down towards Hanging Rock, down to Grapevines and Mount Macedon in the background. And here we are at lovely, beautiful Paramore Winery, where our wine tastings enjoyed, sitting around club lounges, around an open fire, and actually being poured the wine by the winemaker himself.
I've got to admit, before today, I really didn't know that much about the Macedon Ranges, but if you're a lover of the Yarra Valley, I can guarantee you're going to love it here. And with Mike's Wine Tours, he's going to guarantee you get the best wine, the best views, the best company. What more can you ask for?
Here's your chance to save 10% on this Macedon Ranges wine tour, including wine tastings at some of the region's best wineries and a fabulous lunch. To book, visit travelfactoryaustralia.com.au.
All right, welcome to windy Gellibrand Hill outside Melbourne Airport. Now, while this facility is tracking aircraft for this Aussie touring experience, we are on the trail of something a whole lot smaller.
This small, in fact, the endangered eastern barred bandicoot. And today I get to lend a hand to help bring these little guys back from the brink.
All right, Marco, tell me, what is a nature-wise eco-escape?
Nature-wise eco-escapes are basically small group tours that mix conservation activities with touring activities. So what we do is we give the participants an opportunity to contribute to some real conservation projects, but also have the opportunity to explore the areas and do some sightseeing and so on.
So it's pretty early and it's pretty chilly, I got to tell you, but we are about to set off from the back paddock to go and start checking the bandicoot traps. And as they say in the game, happy coot. The back paddock behind Melbourne Airport is the site of a joint project between conservation volunteers and Parks Victoria to re-establish a colony of the eastern barred bandicoot. This nature-wise eco-escape involves assisting the project team to check the weight and health of the bandicoot population. Team leader Travis tells us more.
Well, look, unfortunately, it's extinct in the wild now. It's lost all of its grassland habitat here in Victoria, so it relies on having fenced-off enclosures to keep predators away. They're only short-lived, around 3 years. They do breed quite rapidly, but unless they're protected, they've got no chance of survival.
Okay. So why Melbourne Airport?
No real estate. It's survived development, so it's fantastic.
Nature-wise eco-escapes also give you the chance to see the local sites, in this case, a visit to living legends. For nature-wise eco-escapes near you, just go online. Lend a hand saving the Eastern Barred Bandicoot and save 13% on this unique conservation day tour, including lunch and a visit to Living Legends. To book, visit travelfactoryaustralia.com.au. Now here's your chance to win a touring package to amazing Thailand and Cambodia with our series competition. This prize for 2 people includes return airfares to Bangkok, 3 nights with breakfast at the fabulous Centara Grand at Central World, a 5-day boutique bike tour from Bangkok to Siem Reap with Grasshopper Adventures, suitable for riders of all levels, including accommodation, all meals and a sunrise visit to stunning Angkor Wat, and 2 final nights of pampering with breakfast at the Shintamani Club Resort in Siem Reap. For this incredible adventure, you'll both receive luggage to match, High Sierra wheeled duffel bags, backpacks and laptop backpacks. And gents, pack a holiday wardrobe to the value of $500 from our friends at Uberman Menswear in Brisbane. There are also 5 runner-up prize packs with a Travel-On anti-theft tour bag, Uberman tea and more. Just tell us in 25 words or less your most amazing travel adventure so far and why. To enter, visit tourtheworld.com.au.
Well, the Hotel Courage on Canberra has had more than its fair share of famous guests in its day, not least of all which Prime Minister Ben Chifley, who called the hotel home. I'm sitting in a replica of his favourite chair. Well, since then, the hotel has been refurbished, and I love the way the contemporary guest rooms contrast with the period touches that have been retained around the hotel. It's really charming. Well, coming up, we're back in Queensland for some high-flying hospitality. Now, the Greater Brisbane country area is dotted with amazing country pubs, just like this one, offering great food and hospitality. But what if you could visit these pubs by helicopter? Oh yeah, it's a country pub crawl by chopper. Does life get any better? Climb aboard with pterodactyl helicopters for the ride of your life and a bird's eye view of Ipswich, the magnificent scenic rim and Lockyer Valley.
The helicopter for us is just a tool and we provide experiences and we use that tool in order to do that. And because of the range that we have and the speed that we travel, we can do a lot of things in one day that you couldn't do by car.
Now, all of the pubs on this tour do have one thing in common, and that is the amazing hospitality. But in their own way, they're all completely unique. Some of them are new, some of them are old, like the Dugandan Hotel, which has just celebrated its 100th birthday, and it is absolutely packed to the rafters with historic memorabilia to explore. I've got to tell you, it is fascinating.
Each of the pubs we visit is a chance to learn more about the local area and to share a beer with some of the locals. That's one of the highlights of this tour. Back on board and we take to the skies for our next stop. Now, as you would expect, safety is paramount and there's a limit of 1 beer per venue. Time for lunch at the Royal in Harrisville.
Well, the lunch, you just pick what you want. So you pick whatever's on the menu, that's all covered. So the drink's part of that, and a drink at every other pub.
So there's a little bit of flexibility in the itinerary, is that right?
There's a lot of flexibility in the itinerary. We have a standard tour that we publish on our website. Very few people take the standard tour. Visiting the same pubs that are on the list, or shortening it down depending on what their budget might be or how many people they might want to take. So flexibility is the key to what we do. It's all about the customer, and so we'll do whatever we can to make their experience something they'll talk about forever.
Save nearly 50% on this country pub crawl by chopper for you and 2 mates with pterodactyl helicopters. Just a $100 deposit secures this amazing offer. Pay the balance when you book. Visit travelfactoryaustralia.com.au. A visit to the historic Blue Mountains west of Sydney makes the perfect day trip. And FJ Tours is the only tour company that combines 2 amazing attractions, Jenolan Caves and Scenic World. Jenolan Caves is one of the oldest cave systems in the world, and visitors have been enjoying this subterranean marvel since the late 1800s. There's plenty of time to explore the gorgeous bushland surrounds and meet some of the locals before it's time for our guided tour. We're exploring the Lucas Cave, the largest and most popular cave in the system. The Lucas Cave is home to a fascinating array of rock formations that have formed over millions of years.
All right, now, I want you to forget all about the Royal Albert Hall or the Paris Opera for that matter. We are standing in the world's oldest concert hall right here in Australia by a country million years. Now, the acoustics here in the cathedral chamber in the Lucas Cave are renowned as being perfect, and you can actually attend concerts here. It's just the most extraordinary atmosphere, incredible.
We visit a series of chambers deep underground with full commentary from our local guide. It's a mind-blowing experience.
Now, no visit to the Blue Mountains would be complete without a visit to Scenic World, one of my all-time favourite tourist destinations, especially as a kid. And no visit to Scenic World would be complete without a ride on the trusty Scenic Railway, the world's steepest railway. Now, while these carriages may be brand new, the thrill is just the same as it always was. Wow.
Scenic World offers breathtaking views over the Jamison Valley and the Three Sisters. This awesome tour departs from Sydney with pickup from most city hotels and concludes with a river cruise back to Circular Quay. Visit the FJ Tours website for more details. Save 16% on this Jenolan Caves Scenic World and Blue Mountains Day Tour, including a 1.5-hour cave tour with a Jenolan Caves guide. To book, visit travelfactoryaustralia.com.au.
Well, that was my first visit to Jenolan Caves since I was a kid, and it is still just as fascinating as it always was. Some things never change. Well, many a political deal has been brokered here at the Hotel Kurrajong, Canberra, and this week we have a deal or two to let you in on. Jump online after the show to tfehotels.com for the latest special offers here at the hotel. It's the perfect place to base yourself to explore everything Canberra has to offer. Well, after the break, we head for the hills to Victoria's high country. Now, Falls Creek in the Alpine National Park in regional Victoria may be one of the country's best known ski resorts, but when the snowboarders and skiers have migrated north and the snow has melted away, underneath is revealed some of Australia's best alpine walking tracks. And we're joining Park Trek Walking Holidays for Easter in the Victorian Alps.
Falls Creek is located roughly 5 hours drive from Melbourne. Transport, accommodation and all meals are included on this tour. We're staying at the Viking Ski Lodge, which is clean and comfortable. The view of the sunset over the village and Alps is amazing. Once we're all settled in, I catch up with our guides Anne and Rochelle to find out more about Park Trek.
Park Trek takes people into Australian national parks, and what we do is provide small groups of people an experience of trekking through the natural environment.
My favourite part about being a Park Trek guide is getting people outdoors, getting them close to nature, being outside, teaching them all about it, and getting them excited about being away, I guess, from their busy lifestyles.
The Alpine National Park is an incredibly diverse ecosystem where it's all about the tiny details. The park was devastated by fire in 2003 and the ghostly snow gums are slowly regenerating. Our daily treks take us to several different areas of the park, including Mount Cope for spectacular views across the high country plains. While there are a few steep climbs, the pace is easy and relaxed and suitable for anyone of a reasonable fitness level. Now, one of the highlights of this trip is the chance to learn about the historic high country huts of the early Victorian cattlemen.
It all started when they needed more grazing areas, so it actually goes back as early as the 1840s, where they were running out of space to put their cattle on. And bringing them up into the Alps in the summer also allowed them to have more cattle because they'd have more feed for them. So they'd bring them up in summer But that meant for them they actually needed somewhere to be in summer, so they built all these huts all over the Victorian Alps where they could then stay. But they obviously would be abandoned in winter. So they were very basic, simple huts that they could get shelter from in summer, and then in winter they'd bring the cattle back down into the valleys and away from the snow.
Now, the oldest surviving hut in the Alpine National Park is the Wallace Hut. The hut is listed on the Historic Buildings Register, and it's a fascinating insight into this chapter in Aussie pioneering history.
All right, now the Wallace Hut was built by the Wallace brothers, Stuart, Arthur and William, back in the late 1880s, and a lot of cattlemen would have used this hut over the years, and a lot of them have left their mark, so it's really, really interesting. If you come and have a look at the mantle here, you can see that a lot of them have burnt their initials and names into the mantelpiece. Also in the beams along the roof, there's a date over here, 1903, and apparently it is possible to see the initials of the brothers, although you'll need an expert to help you find them. I'm not able to track them down, but definitely worth coming and having a look for yourself.
Top tips for coming with Park Trek into the Alps is to be prepared for cold weather, so have the appropriate clothing and a good pair of walking boots and a camera, because there's lots to photograph, and be prepared to have fun.
For more details, just go online. Book Park Trek's amazing Great Ocean Walk now and receive a bonus $100 gift voucher at Bogong Equipment Melbourne, Australia's leading store for outdoor equipment. To redeem this offer, visit travelfactoryaustralia.com.au.
Well, that's all we can squeeze into the show this week. We hope that's inspired you, though, to check out some of the awesome touring experiences on offer across the country. There are so many tour operators out there doing great things, and they could all use some homegrown support. Well, special thanks to the Hotel Courage on Canberra and TFE Hotels for their hospitality. And that puts our series to bed, but we will be back. Until then, safe and happy travels. Bye now.